You walk out of the grocery store, arms full of bags, and the second you turn the corner of the parking lot, you see it. That long, ugly, bright yellow streak dragged all the way down the side of your door panel, right across the most visible section of your car, right where every single person walking past is going to stare. Your stomach drops completely through the asphalt. You set the bags down, you crouch, you run your finger along it, and the dread that washes over you in that moment is one of the worst feelings a car owner can experience, because your mind immediately does the math. You think about the last time you got a quote from the body shop down the street. You think about the service advisor who walked around your car with a clipboard and a very serious expression and said things like full panel respray and color matching and clear coat sealer and factory blending, and by the time he was done talking, you were holding an invoice for $500 and your car was not going to be ready for 4 business days. That is the exact moment this video is going to save you. That is the exact moment I need you to stop, breathe, and understand something that the entire collision repair industry has spent decades trying to make sure you never find out. Your car is almost certainly not scratched. Say that again to yourself, not scratched. What you are looking at on the side of your door is not a gouge, it is not a cut through your paint, it is not damage to your factory clear coat at all. What you are looking at is a deposit. It is cheap, low-grade foreign paint from that yellow concrete parking pole that physically transferred onto the surface of your clear coat when the two surfaces made contact. Your car is wearing somebody else's paint like a piece of tape that got stuck to your shirt. And I am about to show you how to pull that tape off in 15 seconds using a $2 bottle of liquid sitting in the camping aisle at your local dollar store or grocery store right now. And the scientific reason it works is going to make you furious that you ever handed a body shop a single dollar for this exact type of damage. Before I go any further, I need you to hit that subscribe button right now, because what I am about to break down in this video is the kind of information that the collision repair industry genuinely does not want circulating online. These shops are running a predatory diagnostic scam on everyday car owners who have no reason to know better. They look at a surface paint transfer, which is a $0 problem with a $2 solution, and they deliberately tell you it is deep paint damage requiring a full panel respray. They do it because you cannot tell the difference, and they can charge you $500 for work that either never needed to happen or could have been addressed by a detailer in 20 minutes for 30 bucks. They bank on your fear and your ignorance and your emotional attachment to your vehicle. Every person you tell about this channel is one fewer customer walking into that shop with empty pockets and walking out without $500. Subscribe right now and let us build this community of people who are done being taken advantage of. Now let me show you exactly what is happening to your paint at the molecular level so you understand why the $2 solution is not a hack or a workaround. It is literally the chemically correct answer to this specific problem. Your factory paint job on any car built in the last 30 years is a catalyzed, cross-linked polyurethane clear coat. Those words matter enormously. Cross-linked means the polymer chains inside your clear coat are bonded to each other in a 3-dimensional web structure during the curing process. When that clear coat baked in the factory oven at temperatures above 250 degrees Fahrenheit, those polymer chains reached across and grabbed each other and formed a rigid, interlocking molecular cage. The result is a surface that is chemically inert to most mild solvents once fully cured. It is not going to dissolve, it is not going to soften, it is not going to lift when it contacts a mild hydrocarbon. Now compare that to the paint on a parking garage pole or a concrete curb or a shopping cart. That paint is an industrial enamel applied in the lowest cost way possible by a facilities maintenance crew. It is not baked, it is not cross-linked. It is a simple air-dry coating with weak molecular bonds and virtually no resistance to solvents whatsoever. It is structurally inferior to your factory clear coat in every measurable way. Now here is the key that unlocks everything. Charcoal lighter fluid, the standard clear variety you find in the camping section, contains naphtha as its primary active component. Naphtha is a specific aliphatic hydrocarbon solvent. Aliphatic means it has a straight or branched carbon chain structure rather than an aromatic ring structure. That distinction matters because aliphatic hydrocarbons like naphtha are aggressive enough to break the weak van der Waals forces and ester linkages holding that cheap air-dry enamel together. but they are not aggressive enough to penetrate the dense, cross-linked polyurethane matrix of your factory clear coat. The solvent literally cannot find a way into your clear coat because the cross-linked structure closes every door on it. But that cheap parking pole paint? Naphtha walks straight through it like it is not even there, severs its bonds from the molecular level up, and turns it from a solid smear into a loose, wipeable liquid slick that sits on top of your clear coat with zero adhesion. That is not a guess, that is not a folk remedy, that is applied organic chemistry working exactly the way the textbooks say it should. The $2 camping liquid is not accidentally solving your problem. It is the chemically appropriate solvent for this exact scenario. Now let me tear apart what the auto parts store has been selling you in that little orange and black box for $30, because once you understand what is actually inside those scratch removal kits, you are going to be absolutely livid. Those products are abrasive compounds. They are liquid sandpaper. The mechanism by which they, quote, remove your scratch is by using aluminum oxide particles or silica abrasives suspended in a lubricating liquid to physically grind down the surrounding clear coat until the level of the clear coat matches. The depth of the damage. You are not actually fixing anything. You are destroying the area around the damage to make the damage invisible by making everything equally lower. To remove that yellow paint streak with a scratch remover kit, you are forced to aggressively sand away a significant amount of your own factory clear coat across the entire affected area. Your clear coat has a finite thickness measured in microns. The average factory clear coat application is between 100 and 200 microns thick. Heavy compound cutting can remove 15 to 30 microns per session. You do that once and it is fine. You do that twice or three times on the same panel over a couple of years, and you are down to a dangerously thin layer. And here is the part that nobody puts on the box. When your clear coat gets thin, it loses its ability to flex with the metal underneath it during temperature changes. Metal expands and contracts with heat cycles. A thick, healthy clear coat flexes with it. A thinned, abraded clear coat cannot. It becomes brittle and it begins to crack and peel in sheets. That panel that looked perfect after you used the scratch remover kit, it is going to look catastrophically worse in 12 to 18 months. And when you take it to the body shop then, there is genuinely no solution other than a full respray because you have destroyed the structural integrity of the clear coat. The $30 kit did not save you from the body shop. It guaranteed you a future body shop visit, and this time the damage will be completely real. The lighter fluid approach does not touch your clear coat with a single abrasive particle. It does not remove material. It dissolves and lifts the foreign material sitting on top. When you wipe it away, your factory clear coat underneath is completely intact, completely original thickness, completely uncompromised. You have not traded one problem for a worse future problem. You have simply removed something that was never supposed to be there in the first place. Now let me walk you through the exact application so you do this correctly and get a perfect result every single time. First, assess the damage in direct sunlight or under a bright light. Run your fingernail along the center of the scuff very gently. If your nail drags into a physical groove, you may have actual clear coat damage mixed in with the transfer, and you should watch my video on clear coat scratch repair as well. If your nail glides over the surface without catching, congratulations, you are dealing with pure paint transfer and lighter fluid is your complete solution. Get your standard clear charcoal lighter fluid. Any brand works because naphtha is naphtha, and get a clean, folded microfiber towel. Do not use paper towels, do not use cotton rags with rough texture. You want a soft, plush microfiber that is not going to introduce any mechanical abrasion during the wipe. Pour a generous amount of lighter fluid directly onto the microfiber. You want it well saturated in the contact area, not dripping but genuinely wet. Lay the saturated section of the microfiber completely flat against the scuff. Do not scrub, do not rub, do not apply downward pressure yet. Just hold it flat and let it sit for 10 full seconds. You are giving the naphtha time to penetrate the foreign paint, work through its layers, and break the adhesion from the inside out. After 10 seconds, apply light, even pressure, and wipe in a single straight stroke following the direction of the scuff. You will see the color transfer immediately onto the microfiber. That is the parking pole paint coming off your car in liquid form. For stubborn or thick deposits, fold to a fresh section of microfiber, resaturate with lighter fluid, hold flat again for another 10 seconds, and repeat. Most paint transfers come completely clean in 1 to 3 passes with zero residue and zero damage to the surrounding paint. Now stop right here because this is the most critical instruction in this entire video, and if you skip this step, you will create a different, permanent problem that is arguably worse than the original scuff. Lighter fluid is a solvent. A solvent does not have preferences. When it contacts your clear coat, it does not just dissolve the foreign paint. It also aggressively strips away every layer of protective wax and sealant you have applied to that section of your paint. Those wax layers are your clear coat's primary defense against ultraviolet radiation from the sun. UV rays break down polyurethane at the molecular level over time through a process called photooxidation. The cross-linked polymer chains absorb UV photons, and the energy of those photons breaks the chemical bonds holding the structure together. This is exactly what car wax and paint sealant are designed to prevent. They form a sacrificial barrier that absorbs and deflects UV before it reaches the clear coat. When you remove the lighter fluid residue and dry that panel, the section you just treated is completely naked. No wax, no sealant, no protection whatsoever. If you park that car outside and let sunlight hit that unprotected spot for days or weeks, you will develop a dull, chalky, white oxidation patch right in the middle of your door panel. This is not a cosmetic issue that wax can reverse. Oxidation that deep requires polishing to remove, and you are back to removing clear coat material, which is exactly what we were trying to avoid. The solution is immediate and non-negotiable. The moment you wipe off the last of the foreign paint and the surface is clean, dry that section thoroughly with a separate clean microfiber. Then immediately apply a coat of paste wax, spray wax, or paint sealant to the treated area. Work it in with light circular motions and buff it off. You are rebuilding the protective layer in real time before any UV exposure can begin. If you do not have wax in your garage, stop at the auto parts store on the way home before you park outside. This step is mandatory. A car wax is between $10 and $20, and it protects not just the treated spot but your entire vehicle. Skipping it after using lighter fluid is like replacing a broken window and then leaving the front door wide open. You solved one vulnerability and created a larger one. Do the wax step every single time without exception. And now I want you to sit with this comparison for a moment because it tells you everything you need to know about the industry that has been profiting from your lack of information. On one side, you have the body shop. You drive in, a service advisor looks at your paint transfer for 2 minutes, tells you it is deep damage, and hands you a written estimate for $400 to $600 for a full panel respray that will keep your car there for 3 to 5 business days. You are without your vehicle, you might need a rental, and at the end of it, you have a repainted panel that may or may not match your factory color perfectly, because color matching is genuinely difficult, and fading on surrounding panels means your fresh respray often looks slightly different in certain lighting. On the other side, you have a $2 bottle of charcoal lighter fluid, a microfiber towel you already own, and 15 seconds of your time in your own driveway on a Tuesday afternoon. Your car does not leave your property. You spend $2. The paint transfer is completely gone. Your factory clear coat is untouched. Your car looks exactly like it did before the incident. The only additional cost is the wax you should already have in your detailing kit. That is the entire choice laid out plainly. There is no version of this situation where the body shop quote is the rational first step. Not for surface paint transfer. Not ever. The only reason people keep paying those invoices is because nobody tells them the truth, and the shops are absolutely counting on that information gap remaining wide open. Right now, somebody in your contact list has a scuff on their car. Maybe they mentioned it to you last week, maybe you saw them upset in a parking lot, maybe they texted you a photo asking what to do. They are either sitting with that scuff because they cannot afford the body shop quote, or they already paid for a respray they never needed. Send them this video right now. Share it before you close this app. You will literally save them hundreds of dollars today, and they will never forget that you were the one who told them. That is the kind of information that actually matters in real life. Not another travel vlog or reaction video, actual knowledge that protects your money and your car. Share this right now and make sure they see it before they call that body